Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and my best bets are on the way. We got one player prop, we got a game pick, we got my series prediction, 2 same game parlays, and 1 PrizePicks parlay, all coming your guys' way. It's an action-packed episode. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. We are going to get into it. We have an action-packed episode coming your guys' way. But first, let's do a short recap. The last NBA game we had, Game 7 of the Heat Celtics series. Man, oh man, Kyle Lowry, thank you for your service. Over 20.5 PRAs. I saw some people hating on Kyle. He said bet, and he cashed it for us. Now, our latter long shot play was Marcus Smart, 3, 4, and 5 threes. He hit 3 pretty easily. I think he went 3 for 10. Only cashed in that first leg, which was plus 150. Couldn't climb any higher. But either way, you see us inching so close to that 40-unit mark on the year. We've been hovering right around it. Hopefully, we can cross it or end the season very strong. If you are new, hit that subscribe button down below. I think we, at the moment of recording this video, 60 subscribers, just 60, 6-0 away from hitting 34,000. We appreciate all you guys' love and support the whole NBA season long. We appreciate you guys. So smash that like button, comment your best bet, and let's get into it. I have 3 final notes. Number 1, the reason we're here, shout out to all our COS All-Stars. You guys, the real MVPs all year long. The list keeps growing and growing day by day. We appreciate all you All-Stars out there. Thank you all for supporting the channel. We got 3 new ones. We got Brandon, we got Jack, and we got Mo. You guys, the real MVPs. Number 2, my second note, just a reminder, we're on Chalkboard, a great group discussion message app. Look, we're on there giving out our plays early. We give the plays out early to our COS All-Stars first, then probably about 30 minutes, an hour later, we give them to our people in the Chalkboard, 100% free. The app's 100% free. So if you want to join, top link in the description. Get some cool extra perks coming your guys' way in the coming future. Now, number 3, in addition to our same game parlays later, like I talked about, we posted my PrizePicks parlay in this video, and you know what? PrizePicks, great place to do your player prop parlays. And look, there's no better sign-up bonus than using our code COS or the link in the description. A 100% deposit match up to $100. You get a free $100 to throw on some player prop parlays. Plus, they got some cool, new, intriguing MLB props that I've never seen on any other book. So, really cool book. We'll be using those PrizePicks, probably props in MLB, coming in future baseball videos. Either way, enough of the promos. Drum roll, please. My best bet of the day, Marcus Smart. We're taking this over 24.5 points, rebounds, or assists. Like I shortened it to PRAs, minus 115 on points bet. If this line goes up to 25.5, I'm fine with Marcus Smart. Currently, he's questionable for this game. Look, Marcus Smart's going to get out there and play. And if he doesn't, well, then this bet's going to void. But I really do expect him to be out there. And Marcus, he's cashed for us several times in this postseason. We love him on the Calling Our Shot channel. We're going to love him a little bit more today. Now, obviously, Smart, he's been a little bit banged up. Obviously, he's questionable coming into this game. But like I said, I expect him to play. And I think he's had a couple days. I mean, they haven't played since Sunday. So that extra rest really should have treated him nicely. Now, Game 7 in that series versus the Heat, Marcus Smart, 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, crushing this line. Just absolutely 38 PRAs. You only needed 22.5. We leaned his over, and he crushed it. Now, Marcus Smart, so far this postseason, let's got his whole body of work. 15.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, and 6.2 assists per game for 26.2 PRAs per game in 36.5 minutes per game. Obviously, you think back to some of these games, Marcus Smart was playing in the 20s, the 25, 30 minutes. I think he's going to play well over that today. He's both injured early on in this postseason, and then he was ill. Just a couple games that he really didn't play a lot of minutes. So that kind of weighed down his stats. But still, you look at the 12 games this postseason where he's played 35 or more minutes, hit the over in 8 of them. So I really do think he's going to get that. And he normally doesn't just barely creep over this line, normally crushing the line, getting into that 30s PRAs, which we would love this to be a no-sweat bet. Now, you look at the 4 games in those 35-plus minutes games where he didn't hit this line. Well, he shot 7 for 30 from the three-point line, 23.3%. Look, if he's going to go out there and clank it, build a brick house, then I can live with it. I mean, this is a game. I mean, you're going to take overs. The guys are going to have to knock down shots. Now, Smart can fill up the stat sheet with rebounds and assists, but we're going to need him to at least score some points today. Probably not going to hit this over with only like 5 to 10 points. He's going to need closer to 12 to 15 points to give us a chance. And what I really like about this is Smart's matchup. Now, he's going up against Stephen Curry or Jordan Poole, whoever they're going to have him guard. I'd imagine Stephen Curry, Marcus Smart, obviously the reigning defensive player of the year. Now, could lead to some foul trouble, which could be a concern, but still, look, Smart's going to have to be out there to guard Stephen Curry. And when I look at his matchup on the other side of the court, they're going to have to make Stephen Curry work on the defensive side, meaning Marcus Smart's going to have to be aggressive. We think about Andrew Wiggins on Jason Tatum. Pretty tough matchup. Klay Thompson will guard Jaylen Brown, which, I would argue Klay Thompson really isn't into his, premier two-way guy, like from where pre-injury, but still, he's solid. You got Looney and Draymond both locking down Robert Williams and Al Horford. So I think Smart's got the clear advantage. No disrespect to Stephen Curry. He's never been known for being an elite defender. Been pretty solid this postseason, but I still think if you're going to pick a guy to attack, you're probably attacking Klay Thompson or Stephen Curry on the defensive side. And we look at Smart's last 4 games versus Golden State Warriors. He stepped up and played well against Stephen Curry. 30, 31, 33, and 32 PRAs, hitting the over easily in all 4 of his last the last 4 games against the Warriors. Look, it's NBA Finals. We know Smart's going to get out there, going to suit it up and give us all heart out on the court. It's going to be fun to watch him and Draymond just diving for loose balls left and right. But look, Smart's going to leave it all out there, and with Poole playing more minutes with that PTSD lineup that they call it, whatever they want to call it, where Looney gets the boot and they're playing Jordan Poole, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Wiggins. They're going to need a lot of guard play in this one, so I think Derek White and Peyton Pritchard maybe step up a little bit, but Marcus Smart's going to be the main guy that should see a lot of minutes today. Now, look, we saw Jalen Brunson of the Mavericks hit this over in 3 of the last 4 games against the Warriors. We saw Spencer Dinwiddie crushing the line off the bench. Obviously, he's a guard. We know the Celtics are going to want to tire out Stephen Curry. They can maybe even get into foul trouble if they can. Marcus Smart, you got to be aggressive today. This whole series long, they're going to need to play well, and I'm riding with it. Over 24.5 PRAs. If it cashes for us in Game 1, wouldn't be surprised we see him in Game 2. Let's move on to some player. Well, I'm not going to go to player prop leans. We'll talk about those in the prize pick section. My game pick, lean the Warriors to win by 1 to 10 points, plus 170 on FanDuel. This is a weird one, but I want to talk about this game because you guys know I don't bet a lot of spreads and over-unders. Really, I just don't love betting spreads, especially this far into the season. The Celtics are 4-point underdogs. I honestly kind of think the Celtics cover, Warriors win, so I think it's a close one, but I think the Warriors do pull it out. I just think spreads are super sharp this far into the season, and I think the Warriors win this game, but I think it's going to be a close margin, within 10 points. I think you're getting plus 170 value on that one. Look, I think this is going to be a great game, and I think the Celtics are going to come out a little bit slow. Obviously, they just had to grit and grind through 7 games versus the Miami Heat. Whereas, you look at the Warriors, they've been out for a couple games, only had to go to 5 games versus the Mavericks. So I think the Warriors win this one, but I think it's a close one. So I don't necessarily know if they cover the 4 points. It could be a 1-possession game, but I do think the Warriors win this one by 1 to 10 points, plus 170. Just my lean for this one, but I think that's what I'll be riding with. Now, my series pick, everyone's asking me, who do I think wins the NBA Finals? I'm giving you a little bit of value. I think the Warriors win Game 1, but the Boston wins the series. That's plus 400 on FanDuel Sportsbook. Now, I talked about a very identical thing to the Celtics series versus the Heat. I said Heat would win Game 1, Boston wins the series. That was plus 250. Getting a little bit better value here. And I understand. I got the Knicks pennant right next to me, and that's just not going against Boston. I honestly really do like this Boston team, much more than the previous Boston teams that we've seen kind of time and time again throughout the NBA, past decade or so. I like this team. Maybe I've got an infatuation with Jaylen Brown because he went to Wheeler High School, which is where I was going to go outside of Atlanta for high school. Either way, I think they come out a little bit slow in Game 1. I still think they keep it close, but I believe at the end of the day, this Celtics team is just the better overall team. They might not necessarily have as much star power that you might think, but look, Klay Thompson, is he going to still be that two-way guy that we've really seen and grown to love, over the years? I haven't necessarily seen it consistently. And then after that, you're asking for Jordan Poole to step up and play pretty well, asking for Stephen Curry to really carry the team. Look at the end of the day, both these two teams, I think one team's been a little bit more battle-tested. You got the Celtics that have had to go through the Nets, the reigning champion, the Bucks, against the Miami Heat, one of the best defenses in the league. We look at the Warriors. They've had to go against the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, and the Mavericks. All 3 teams, no disrespect to them, I don't think a lot of people really expected any of those 3 teams to be competing for a championship. The Grizzlies are still, I would believe, a year away. I think they'll be very, very good next year. Much, much more improved. So, all in all, I think the Celtics win this series, but I think they lose Game 1. Plus 400 odds. I like that value on that one. So, that's what we ride with. But let's get into some same game parlays. That's why you're here. We're getting this a long video, but that's why you're here. We got a risky one and a conservative one. We'll go risky. Marcus Smart, 20-plus points. Jordan Poole, 20-plus points. Odds, plus 1,492. You put $10. You went over 140. Now, necessarily, I can't really go diving into too many stats. I just think Marcus Smart has a good day. And maybe Jordan Poole off the bench plays more minutes than people expect. Obviously, Jordan Poole was crushing these lines against the Grizzlies. Then he went up against the Mavericks, a matchup that didn't really suit him. And he didn't really play too well. But still Jordan Poole, 20-plus points at home where he plays much better. Wouldn't be surprised. Look, Marcus Smart can score 20 on a random night. Hit 20 in that Game 7 against the Heat. So, let's bring on that up for value. Let's do a bankroll builder, though. I got 5 legs here that I really love, and I'll talk about each of them. Draymond Green, under 12.5 points, under 9.5 assists for Draymond. Curry, or under 8.5 assists. Jaylen Brown, under 6.5 assists. And Jason Tatum, 4+ assists. These are all alt lines on FanDuel. These are not necessarily the regular lines. I know I've already seen the comments. I already see them. I don't have Steph Curry for 5.5 assists kind of thing. Now, these are all alternate lines on FanDuel that they give out. It's only plus 112, but that's why it's a bankroll builder. So let me talk about each leg, then we'll get into my PrizePicks parlay. Draymond under this line in 13 of 16 playoff games. He's under that assist line in 15 of 16. Curry under that assist line in 14 of 16 games. Tatum 4+ assists in 17 of 18, and Jaylen Brown under his assist line in 18 of 18 games. So I really like all 5 of those legs, plus 112 value. We're just going to test with some bankroll builders. I don't normally play a lot of same game parlays, but Ben out there, I know you're always sending me yours on Twitter, so I'll be dabbling in it myself. But let's get in some PrizePicks parlay. This is why you're here. Use code COS, the link in the description, for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We'd appreciate it. My 4 legs: Marcus Smart over 24.5 points, Kevon Looney under 7.5 points, Draymond Green over 29 fantasy score, and Klay Thompson over 3 threes. Now, Marcus Smart, don't need to talk about him. Already did enough. Kevon Looney, I wanted his PRA line. I think this is not a big Kevon Looney series. I think Robert Williams, his injury will not lead to a lot of minutes for Looney, and I think we'll see a lot more small ball with Grant Williams at the 5, well, not at the 5, but at the 4 position. I don't think Kevon Looney plays a big role in this series like he did in the Mavericks. Harder to score in the paint against a very good elite defense in the Celtics. Much easier to score and do well against the Mavericks. So Kevon Looney, don't mind his under in PRAs if you want another lean. But Draymond Green over 29 fantasy score. I'm not necessarily saying his PRA line, but fantasy score does factor in blocks and steals. So it's important to factor in both of those 2 things, because obviously Draymond Green, a guy we know gets a lot of blocks and steals, both of those count for 3 points each for fantasy. So if this guy could get 3 steals, 3 blocks, look, he's going to easily crush this line. But I don't necessarily think that happens, but it's always a factor. And then Klay's over 2.5 threes is minus 270. So 3+ threes, if he lands on 3, it pushes, and then the rest of the legs will count, and we'll see exactly what it cashes out to be. But, Klay Thompson, I think he hits 3 threes. Will he hit 4? That's like plus value, plus 110. So I think he could get it done. I think Jaylen Brown might sag off. Klay Thompson, not afraid to shoot the ball, especially at home, return to the NBA Finals. He's going to be chucking it up there. So I do like all 4 of these legs. $10 turn into $100. Like I said, use code COS if you sign up for PrizePicks. The link's in the description too. 100% deposit match up to $100. This is a long video, almost 12 minutes long. Appreciate you guys as always. My one official play, Marcus Smart over 24.5 PRAs. We're riding with all these same game parlays. It's game 1. Let's get after it. NBA Finals are here. Only a couple more NBA videos, so we appreciate you guys as always for supporting us. It's been awesome. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.